Good morning or afternoon, wherever you're joining us from today, for Aforza's Winter 23 release webinar. My name is Candice Mueller, and I lead product marketing here at Aforza, and it's a pleasure to be with you today as we showcase the latest innovations from Aforza that are helping consumer good companies achieve efficient and lasting growth with repeatable and tailored business experiences across all routes to market. I'm delighted to share that Eales will also be joining me today, who's our Chief Product Officer here at Aforza, and he's going to be showcasing our latest capabilities during today's webinar. So first, we'll take a step back and look at how Aforza's continuous innovations help consumer good companies to perform with precision across the entire sales journey. Then I'm going to hand it over to Nick, and he's going to take us through all of the latest release innovations, including the business benefits that can be gained. And for each release theme, he's also going to be sharing with us a key demo. And finally, we're going to conclude with where you can find more information in addition to how you can request your own personalized demo. Before we get to the release itself, we have some exciting fun facts to share. With all the growth happening at Aforza, we're now supporting customers live in 25 different countries. And one of our customers, Distel, saw a 2.5 times increase in their average order value. One of the ways they achieve this is by offering real-time recommendations for stockouts. And our customers are transacting a lot. We've seen over $1 billion in field orders being processed through Aforza this year alone. That's really impressive. And BrewDog, which is another customer of Aforza, saw a 250% increase in new sales installs. And that's just within the first quarter of using Aforza. We're also really excited that Transmed, which is Procter & Gamble's largest distributor, has gone live with Aforza. How the Transmed team has welcomed and partnered with Aforza has been truly remarkable. And lastly, if you haven't checked out already the POI research reports for trade promotion management or retail execution, they're a great reference of how Aforza is gaining a lot of industry credibility, as we've received 6 best-in-class distinctions. So this is a lot for us to be proud about here at Aforza. As our company continues to evolve, so do our capabilities, which is what's brought us all here together today. Aforza continues to innovate and deliver capabilities that are industry-rich across visit, sales, and promotions that can be executed across all routes to market. As our product portfolio expands, so do our features such as guides that deliver the perfect business experiences and real-time stock recommendations that can be accessed from a mobile device even while offline. This is where so many customers are gaining impressive business results by partnering with us. And with 3 continuous innovation cycles a year, we're growing our product depth and breadth of capability fast. We're already into our 11th release, with a growing community of customers across the globe. And as mentioned earlier, we're receiving significant industry recognition for the value that our capabilities are delivering to the industry. And now I'd like to turn our attention over to the Winter 23 release. And I'd like to introduce one of Aforza's co-founders who's led this innovation journey from the very beginning. He's our Chief Product Officer, Nick Eales. Nick, now over to you.
Thank you, Candice, and thank you everyone for joining me today on the Winter 23 release webinar. I'm extremely excited to show off some of our new capabilities that the team has built. There's some fantastic new tools and features that I think are really going to bring value to you, our customers. As always, our vision and our mission is to build the world's best consumer goods focused product and allow you to use that to improve your sales, your efficiency, and just make your business generally better. So there are 3 main areas that I want to talk about today that we've grouped some of our features into. And this is by no means an exhaustive list of what we've delivered, but it should give you a good idea of where our minds were at and some of the key areas that I really think are going to be super important to you and super valuable. So the first is our new customer console capability. This is really, really exciting because it provides you with a single view of your customer within the application. So instead of having to go through multiple tabs or to pull information in from different areas to get that one true view of your customer, it's now all displayed on a single console or dashboard page. And what's really exciting about this is it's not just about viewing the information about that customer, it's about taking action. So when I see that there's an outstanding order or an outstanding delivery, we can action that. When I can see there's a payment overdue, we can action that. When I can see they haven't placed an order in a few months, we can create a new order. So it's all about understanding your customer and then using those insights to do some sort of action which will improve your sales or improve the customer experience. The second key area we're going to talk about is guaranteeing commercial control. So this is all about our new compliance capabilities that we've got on our retail execution mobile app. So these are things like being able to stop a rep from executing a visit until they're actually within a certain distance of that outlet. It's about making sure that every time I do an order, it's done accurately, it's done properly, stock is checked, credit's checked, everything is 100% correct before you actually go out and leave that customer. So I will show you a load of new capabilities here, but this is really, really exciting because it just furthers our commitment into making sure that your field sales team is executing efficiently and accurately, and it reduces the human errors and reduces any sort of back-end work you need to do in HQ to fix an order after the fact. And then the last thing I want to talk about is our guides capability. Now we've made some exciting enhancements here, and I really want to showcase how guides can be used to help improve your different journeys, whether they're merchandising journeys, sales journeys, or in the case of the demonstration, an onboarding journey. So we're going to go through that, and then we're going to see how you can surface that guide information back within HQ so that you can actually action upon that and gain meaningful insights from it. So lots of really cool stuff. As I mentioned before, this isn't everything we've released. We have full release notes and a great landing page, which you can look at after this to get further details. But these are the three areas I'm going to focus on today for the webinar. So without further ado, let's kick off our first key area and go through a little bit of a demonstration. So as I mentioned before, the customer console is a fantastic new capability. You can see it there on the left, and I'll show you in a demo in a minute. And this is really about bringing everything you know about that customer to the forefront. So whether you are a key account manager looking to understand your customer from a strategic perspective, or you are a telesales agent who just needs to know really quickly what stock are they short on or what's the best promotion to apply, this is going to give you all that information at a glance. And what's also really exciting about this is our first console, but we're going to be bringing this same capability in a future release into mobile as well, so that when you're in a visit in the field or using the mobile app on the homepage, you're going to get a similar experience, and this is going to be completely configurable. So this is the console. It's all about improving sales effectiveness, accelerating your account planning, and just making you generally more efficient and more effective at managing your customer base. So I'm going to take you through a short demonstration. So we're going to follow Erica, and Erica is a telesales agent who really needs to understand a customer when they're placing an order or ahead of placing an order to make sure that they meet the sales targets, to make sure that they're able to respond effectively to her customer, and to obviously improve revenue, increase revenue across the board. So here we are in Aforza, and we are now looking at an account of ours, an outlet called the Fresh Start Shop Southeast. And immediately when I open this page as Erica, the telesales agent, I can see everything I need to know about this customer. So at a glance, I can see that there is an overdue account balance of $2,000. I can see we last completed an order about a week ago for $709. If I scroll down a little bit, I can see the last time we did a guide, and we'll come on to guides in a little bit. So I can see exactly what the details of that guide were and what the answers given were by the customer. And then in the middle, this is where we can start to see some really meaty information. So we can see, for instance, the entire outlet landscape for this customer. So I can see, for instance, merchandise, competitor assets, products they've purchased from us. Everything is listed here, and we can see the type of product, the unit of measure, the stock level, the purchase price. So at a glance, I can very quickly and easily see stock issues. I can see if there's white space, and it's just very quick and easy again for me to understand the outlet landscape when I'm talking to that customer. And then, of course, I've got my order history. So this goes through all of my previous orders. I can click into an order to view the details on it, and I can see when they last ordered, what the amounts were, and then when I click into it, I can see the actual products they ordered as well. So really, really good, useful information to start facilitating that conversation with the customer, or as a key account manager, again, just understanding, keeping track of this customer at a granular level. Off to the right then, we can see some of our dashboards that we're pushing in here as well. So I can see, for instance, promotions that are performing well that we might want to enact upon this customer. And then I think this is a really, really useful one down the bottom right here is our upsell opportunities. So again, Eric is a telesales agent, and when a customer rings in or I'm doing an outbound call, I really want to understand where my white space is or where's the upsell opportunity. And in this case, I can see that frozen foods, there's a 90% decrease in what they've ordered over the past 3 months. So that I know that they used to buy a lot of frozen foods and now they're not buying them for some reason. That is a key area for me to target when I'm on the phone discussing this with my customer. By looking at my outlet assets, I can also see that these 4 frozen food products on the bottom here were at really low stock levels as well. So immediately from that, I can understand that there's an opportunity here to restock these frozen foods. They usually have a lot of them. They haven't got them at the moment. So let's get on the phone and place an order with that customer. So instead of having to go through a convoluted process to place that order, I can simply click on the new order button, and this is going to take me straight into the order creation process, and I can get on the phone and start placing the order with that customer. So here we are on the order capture page. I can see on the left all the products that are available to this customer. And as always, the prices and the product selection is applicable specifically to this customer. And in this release as well, we can see that we're actually applying the discounts in the product catalog immediately. So I can see the actual unit price that this customer will be paying when all of their commercial discounts get applied. Now I can see, of course, my bundles. I can see my promotions, just like before as well. So I'm on the phone to this customer. I know that there's an issue with frozen foods. So I can simply add something to my cart. And when I add it to the cart, this is going to add all of those different ice creams as well. And I can have a discussion with the customer. I can say, yeah, do you want to buy these, or should we increase them a little bit as well? And it's just a really, really easy, natural conversation to have because I already know that the customer is low on stock and this is something they used to buy a lot of in the past. And when I click into any of these, again, I can see the discounts that apply. I can see manual discounts that I can add as well. And once I've gone and I've configured this order, so let's go and add 100 of each of these. And I'm going to remove that fridge because I've already got a fridge. I can go ahead, like I say, you happy, Mr. Customer? Let me complete that order for you. And it'll activate the order. It will push out the delivery process and get that all sorted. Now I go back to our overview page and I quickly refresh it. We can now see as I scroll down that all that stock's been updated. So we now know, again, immediately that they've placed an order. The stock levels are going to be a lot higher because of that. And we know that this customer's request has been fulfilled successfully. So that was just a really brief demonstration of one use case of the console. As I said before, there's lots of different ways you can use it, whether it's taking payments, whether it is creating new visits, whether it's creating orders like I've shown you there. Loads of different ways to use this. In that demonstration specifically, we obviously saw how Erica could review the console. So at a glance, she got a lot of really relevant information about the customer. And then from that was able to take an action and actually create an order, making a meaningful order and making an upsell opportunity for the business as well. And then once that order has been completed, we saw immediately how it was reflected back in the console. And the next time that Erica or a key account manager accesses that outlet, they're going to get that updated information straight away. Okay, so let's move on to scenario 2. And scenario 2, as I mentioned before, is about guaranteeing that commercial control. So whether it's your visit locations, whether it's the stock levels, whether it's making sure that there's the right credit for the customer, I'm going to go through a huge number of use cases here, and it's all about making sure that those visits are completed in the right place, the orders are completed accurately, there's no errors made on the salesperson's part, and everything is just a fantastic customer experience. So what that's going to bring to you then is obviously it's going to mitigate a lot of that commercial risk. You never have to worry if an order is completed accurately or not. You never have to worry if the stock levels are correct or not when you've placed an order with a customer. It's going to make your field compliance super, super important, right? It's making sure your field teams adhere to certain policies that you've got, whether business or sales policies. And this is, again, going to increase the customer experience. It's just going to improve it across the board because the customer knows that when an order has been placed in the field, that is what they're going to get when the delivery arrives. There's never going to have to be some sort of adjustment because the stock wasn't right when the sales rep was talking to them. So really, really critical feature. And I'm going to take you through a little demonstration of how this applies to the visit and the order capture process. So let's jump through that now. So here we are in the Aforza application. and I'm executing a visit at the Fresh Start Shop South, which is what we were looking at in the previous experience, the previous example as well. And the first thing I have to do is check in. So if I scroll down, you can see the task list that is usually available to the sales rep. But if I try and click into any of these, they're disabled. So I can't actually start executing these tasks until I check in to this location. And this is a new compliance feature we've released. So you can actually choose whether the sales rep has to check in. We can either flag it if they check in incorrectly, or we can just let them proceed as normal without checking in. So there's lots of different options you can have to configure to your business needs. So if I click check in, this is going to check my location. And right now it's going to find out that I'm not in London. So I'm actually not close to that specific shop. And you can see there that the GPS location is incorrect. So it's actually flagged the visit for review in this case, but it's letting me continue. So this is the soft lock. So this is saying, we know you're not in the right place, but we're going to let you continue anyway. We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And then this is now flagged for review. So one of the managers will actually review this visit afterwards. But as I mentioned, you could lock them out completely if you wanted to have that really, really fine control over your field teams. So now that I've checked in, I have all the tasks available to me. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to capture an order. And as I'm going through this, I'm just going to show you a lot of the different checks and business compliance capabilities we have. You probably wouldn't want to implement all of these, but this is just going to give you an indication of some of the things you can do. So the first thing is here, we've got our order start form, and there's a load of required fields. So if I try and continue without filling everything in, it's going to tell me that, hey, no, we need this required information. So you can request any sort of information you want when you start an order. You can make it required, and the sales rep will have to fill that in to complete that order. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this box so that we're now in compliance and continue. So this takes me to the order screen, and there's a couple of key enhancements we've made here around the usability. We now have these great quick filters on the left, so I can just filter down easily into certain brands and apply those filters. Or I can clear them. I can sort now based on the name or my newer products, my older products, the higher priced products, etc. And I can also see the previous quantity of products. So I can click on to this previous quantity, and this is going to show me the last 6 orders in this case of when we've ordered or when the customers ordered that product. So this is really, really useful information for helping me decide how much this customer should be ordering today. And this is all completely configurable. But let's get back to actually creating the order. So let me start adding some things to the cart here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this branded gondola. I can see that they haven't actually placed an order for one in a while. So I'm going to add one to the cart using our new keypad. That's automatically going to add a lot of different soft drinks for me, and it's going to let me continue adding additional items very quickly and efficiently using the keypad as it just kind of auto selects the next box, which is great. So as I'm adding items to the cart, you can see everything's being added there and it's being selected. Now what happens, we can see there's 90 in stock of this product. Let me add 100 of those instead. So let me add 110 because there's 100 in stock. So I've added quite a few more there, but you can see now that the stock level's gone to negative quantities. So it knows that something's wrong there, right? And that we don't have enough stock for that. And you'll see that come into play in a little bit as we continue. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go to our cart page now. And this is where we can see all the products we've added from the catalog. So we can see the soft drinks, including the one where I've put 8,000 of the soft drinks in there. And I can see the branded gondola that I added and some of those alcoholic beverages. I can click into one of these, and we actually now allow you to add as many discounts as you want to these, and also charges. So in this case, I can see I've added a branded gondola, and it's automatically applied a merchandise delivery charge of $9.99. So this has been automatically added onto the cost of this. This is something I cannot control as a field rep. That charge is always going to be there. It's always going to be applied. So again, we're guaranteeing that when something's added to the cart, any additional charges or taxes or discounts are going to be respected by the mobile app. Now, I physically am not able to change that. So you're going to have a very, very accurate order when it comes in. If I go and click complete order, it's now also not going to let me proceed. So this is another capability that we've added where if you are going over the stock level that's currently available, it will not let you proceed. This is, again, configurable. You can turn this on or off. It's up to you how you want to enforce this compliance. But you can now stop that sales rep from being able to continue until they select an amount that's underneath the stock level. So I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to reduce this number quite considerably. Let's put it back down to 10. And if I try and continue now, you'll see it's let me through to the next page. And on the next page, I can ask for additional information. This is an optional step, but you might want to ask for notes or additional required details about the order. And what's going to happen now when I finish that form is it's now going to take me through our new automated processes that you can run as part of an order process. So at any stage in that order process, whether you're starting the order, completing the order, submitting the order, you can now define specific business rules that you want to run and validate when you're doing that order. So you can see in this case, I've actually run through 3 different business use cases. I've gone through a credit check. I've made sure that customers' invoices are already all paid. And I've done a live inventory check. Because even though we've already checked the inventory based on what the mobile app says, because the mobile app is offline and maybe the field rep has been in the field all day, so it hasn't actually synced the latest inventory, we can do a live check as well, assuming you've got a connection. Now, all these checks have passed, and if I click onto them, I can see the details. So I can see that the order total of $600 is within the customer's credit limit. I can see all the invoices and paid, and the inventory status check has passed. If any of these had failed, we would stop the user from continuing. We would tell them why it's failed, and they could update the order accordingly. So again, this is just another great way of, as you're going through the orders, validating it every step of the way and making sure it adheres to your business rules that you put in place. So I'm going to continue, and I've now got the order ready to go. I can go and create an invoice and view the invoice. Our invoice has been updated in this release to be much more compatible with different paper sizes. So whether using extremely narrow paper or A4 size paper, etc., you can configure that. It comes with a lot more information. We have HMRC compliant tax for any of our customers in the UK. That is an optional extra as well. So again, it just keeps everything nice and compliant. Capture a signature. This is completely optional now, so you can either ask for the customer signature or you don't have to allow that, but you can block the order if the signature is not captured. And then I can confirm that order. And that's going to complete the order. It's going to check it off there on the list. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a sync. So let's assume I've finished that visit. I've done all the other tasks. I've captured the order. And I want to push that data back up to HQ. So I'm going to do a quick sync. And this is going to sync up all that data, my visit that I just completed, my orders, my order products. And what you're going to see is at the end of this sync, we're going to have an issue. So we can see an issue now. The sync couldn't be completed due to a validation error. So we've gone through that order, we've done everything correctly, but there's still something wrong. Because obviously, even though you complete that order 100% accurately offline, there could always be a rare edge case or some sort of inconsistency that needs to be flagged. And what you can do now is, as the user, I can view that sync issue, and I can see that one issue with some of our order products. And I can actually learn more about it. So I can click on that, and it tells me exactly what the issue is. So it says in this case that the customer has already purchased a branded gondola, which is pending delivery. Please remove the branded gondola from the order and submit it again. So this is a specific business rule that I've put in, that the customer can only have one branded gondola. And because they've already got one pending delivery, we're not allowing them to continue that order. And what's great is I can actually click on that, and that's going to let me go and fix the order. So I can edit it. I've got access to the order. I can see that branded gondola there. I can delete it. And now I can complete the order, save the changes. It will run the checks again to make sure everything's still correct. And then I will confirm that order. And it says now the item's been updated. You can now retry and see if the issue is resolved. So if I click retry, it's going to do that sync again. You can see everything getting synced up correctly. It's now doing the order products, which has all gone through successfully. And all that information is now online. It's accurate, it's correct, there's been no issues, it was all automated. And before I've even left the customer's store, we now know that that order is 100% accurate and ready to be delivered when needed. So that was a bit of a difficult demo to do because I was trying to show you everything that could go wrong during an ordering process. So lots of red. But that's really just showcasing what controls you have now over the way the mobile app works in the field, whether that is making sure they're in the right location, making sure the items added to the cart are correct, making sure you've got these stock levels, making sure the credit's correct, making sure the right charges are applied, and then even after all of that, making sure that the HQ online system is happy with what you're submitting. And that's all completely doable by your teams in the field. So a lot of great capabilities there. Hope you agree. Let's move on and go to our third use case. So our third use case, Aforza Guides. So we mentioned guides briefly in the last webinar, and we've made some enhancement to it in this release. And I really wanted to showcase how guides could be used for customer onboarding process. So this could be used, as I mentioned, for merchandising, sales experiences, service experiences, but customer onboarding I think is a really great use case because it's all about collecting the right information about a customer, making sure you've got the right details about how that shop's laid out, what competitors are being sold there, etc., and being able to then use that information to take the correct actions off the back of it. So there's loads of benefits to using guides, improving productivity, making sure your teams are going the most efficient way possible, asking the right questions, improving that efficiency, making sure they're adhering to the right questions and the right bits of information that need to be collected, making sure you've got that full view of the customer, which is reflected back in HQ, and also lets them adapt quickly. So we can actually create new guides, we can tweak guides based on information from the field, and new guides can be pushed out almost instantaneously to the field team as well. Right, so let's go in and take a look at an onboarding process. So we are going to be logged in as Lily. Lily is meeting a new customer during an initial field visit and wants to do the onboarding process smoothly by making sure that the right information is captured and making sure the customer experience is good as can be. So let's go ahead and see the demo. So here we are in the mobile app. I'm logged in as Lily, and I can see I have started a visit. I'm starting a visit a new customer, and I've got a number of tasks ready for me. So because this is a new customer, because we know that the customer has not gone through onboarding, these are the tasks that's given to me. I've got to do this customer onboarding, I've got to show some products, I've got to collect some feedback from the consumers in the store, and then hopefully place an order as well as part of that. So I click on that very first task, customer onboarding. This is actually going to take me through a guide. And a guide is all about directing and helping the user collect the right information and note the right details, do the right process when they're speaking to a customer. So in this case, we give them a little bit of information at the start to help them understand what they're going to be doing as part of that guide. So we told them we've got the customer details we're going to collect, we need to check competitive offerings, capture order interest, talk to them about promotions. So they're aware of everything that they're going to be doing as part of this guide. So I can click next, and this is going to take me into that first step where I have to collect customer details. So in here, I can start collecting the customer's first and last name, telephone details. These can all be optional or not, so optional or mandatory. And as I'm capturing these details very, very poorly in this case, I can go in and I can start choosing, for instance, the type of outlet I'm in. So we know it's a regular supermarket in this case. It's actually quite a large one. Now I'm asked to select all the competitors that are being displayed there. So this is really for our competitor intelligence, making sure we're going to have the right promotions, the right offers to kind of get in there and undercut our competitors. So I can start selecting some of the competitors that are there. They're quite high visibility. They're right at the front of the store, quite prominent. So I can say they are in the windows and at the point of sales. Save next. And at every stage of this, I'm being told which questions are mandatory, which are optional, and I'm prompted to collect that information so that we have everything we need to know to execute effectively when we are dealing with this customer. So I'm going to select a few promotions I think might be interested in based on speaking to them, and you can add some final notes. But I'm going to go ahead and save and complete that. And when I complete it, I get a little summary. So in here, I can see all those details I answered as well. I can talk through that with the customer, make sure that everything is accurate and correct. And when I'm happy with that, I can complete it. and that customer onboarding gets checked off and moved to the bottom of the list. And as before, I can go and I can sync that information up when I'm ready. And what happens now is if I go back to HQ, let's say that visit has been completed, I can go back to HQ and I can be logged in as Lily or I can be logged in as someone else. And when I do that, I can go on to any outlet and I can see those guide results that have been captured as part of that visit. So I can see here customer onboarding guide that was captured. And if I click see results, this is going to get me that view of what was actually captured as part of that interaction with the customer. So we can very quickly and easily track that. We can use that information. It can be used to automate various processes or tasks in the system. And it's just a really great way of understanding everything we need to know about the customer and making sure that the field rep is always collecting the right information. And as we saw before, these guide results also flow through to our customer console. So at the bottom, I can see the last guide that was completed, and I can click into that specific guide to view the results as well. So really quick, really easy, and it makes sure that all that information we pull in is being captured in the right way, and we are able to utilize it fully. So as I showed you, Lily was able to check into her new account, start the onboarding process, and get step-by-step instructions. She was able to get her competitor details. She can capture an order off the back of it, and is able to really easily and quickly get the right information, push that to HQ, and then have that available to all the key account management teams, all the telesales agents, all in that single place. So that was just a really brief overview of 3 of the main areas we've added features to. There's so much more to talk about in this release, but they are the ones I wanted to highlight. So just to recap, we went through the customer console and how it gives you that single source of truth and how you can then take actions from those insights. I took you through a really compliant and rigorous order capture process where we're making sure the order is 100% accurate and everything is valid before we submit it. And then I've shown you how you can actually make a guided experience perfect every single time, right? Whether that's onboarding or sales or merchandising, using guides to help drive your users to the right behaviors and create that perfect experience every single time. So I'm really, really pleased with all these new features. Hopefully you agree that some of them are really useful and applicable to you. And you're going to see in forthcoming releases more and more around our console capabilities, our guide capabilities, and all of our mobile application capabilities as well. So really excited to continue this story as we move into 2023. So if you want to discover more, as I mentioned, we have our release page, which gives you your detailed release notes, the latest documentation and user guides, all of our new features in an overview so you can kind of read through it in your own time. And then we'll also be posting a recording of this webinar up there as well so that you can share it with your colleagues if you want to. And I think the only thing left to say is thank you. These releases would not be possible without you. Please keep sending us your suggestions and ideas to help us make the best consumer goods product out there and to make all of you successful. So with that, I think we've got time for a little bit of Q&A. So I think maybe if we hand it back to Candice, and do we have any questions coming in?